after each case. A case does not only need to have one statement. You can have many statements within case. For example, in this one, I've added a second right line statement if the user enters an A. But then still, after the last statement that's part of the case, you have the break. So for each case, you can have one or many statements. You don't need to do it, but it's always good practice to have your switch statement end in what we call the default case. This simply means that if the user entered something for symbol and it didn't fall into any of the cases A, B, C, D or E, so if you've gone through all the cases and didn't go into any of them, you have the default case right at the end. So if the user, for example, entered an H or a Z or a 5 or any other character other than A, B, C, D or E, the default case will become true, and in this case it will print wrong symbol. Just something on the use of the break. What I've done here is I've taken out the break after case A. Now in other languages this could imply that if the user enters an A, it goes in and it prints excellent mark, and then because there is no break it goes through, it kind of falls through to the next case and also prints good mark. But in C# this is not allowed. So if you don't have a break at the end of a case statement, you will have a syntax error and it should not compile. So that would be an illegal statement not to have a break. Just to repeat, you can't do that for the user to print an A, enter an A, and for the program to display excellent mark as well as good mark. The only time where the program would kind of go from one case to the other is when the first case is totally empty. So in this case I've changed the program to say if the user enters whether an A or a B, I want excellent mark to be printed. So in the switch statement I say case A and I don't say anything, and then it's followed by case B which says excellent mark. So because case A is empty, it now kind of falls through to B and prints excellent mark. There are certain data types that you are allowed to use in a switch statement. For example, the char and the int are the two that you will probably use the most. Notice the difference between the char. You say case and then in quotes A because that's how you determine a char. But if you have an int at the bottom, it's just case 5 without the quotes because you're working with a normal number. The one data type that you will use in C# this year, which you cannot use in the switch statement, is the double. You can use the char, the int, the bool and the string, but it won't allow you to use the double. You need to develop a feeling, a gut feeling for when to use the switch statement and when not. For example, in this case, the question says read in the temperature, and if it is from 20 to 30, display moderate. Now if you wanted to use the switch statement, that is what it would look like. You would have 11 case statements and right at the bottom a console right line moderate. Clearly that is not a very effective way of coding, so it would simply be better to say if temperature is greater than or equal to 20 and temperature is less than or equal to 30. So you don't use the switch statement if you have a long range of values that determines the same action.